Good evening. Tonight we'll talk about the word forgiveness, or simply to forgive. What does the word forgiveness mean? It means to grant pardon for or remission of an offense or a debt, to absolve, to cease to feel resentment against, as in to forgive one's enemies, to cancel indebtedness or liability of, to forgive the interest on a loan, to pardon an offense or an offender. The root word of the word forgive is the Latin word perdonare. It simply means to give completely without reservation, where we get our English word to pardon. When we make amends and forgive ourselves, we naturally develop a compassion and empathy towards others, which we believe is one of the most important components of leadership. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is an attribute of the strong, says Mahatma Gandhi. Several years ago, the middle school director at my church had called me and asked me to teach Sunday morning to the middle schoolers a lesson on forgiveness. So I agreed and I prepared and I read through several times and everything sounded good. And so I went to bed Saturday night and woke up Sunday morning and God said, scratch all of that. He said, forget all you just prepared for. And he gave me the words to share with the students. So I did. And it's very simple, and that's kind of how God operates, is make it very simple and easy to understand. So what I did is I had the students, about 60 of them, pair up with someone they did not know. And I said, here's what I want you to say, one to the other, and the other one, here's what your response will be. The first person will say to the other one, I don't like you, nobody likes you, you're a loser. And the second person will respond after having paused and said, what you just said really hurt me, but I forgive you. And I asked, well, actually, we went out of the room, everyone paired up, had done it together, and then we flipped the script, and the one who did the attacking became the recipient. And so I asked everyone, what was the most powerful part of sharing? And every hand went up, and it was receiving forgiveness when you were the one who were acting like a jerk. And the second most powerful part was the one who actually was able to extend forgiveness after they were treated wrongly. And that's a very powerful message about forgiveness. Even though you're the one attacking somebody and then you turn around and receive forgiveness, it can stop you in your tracks. Because you're like, why would they do that? What makes someone want to do that? And only by the grace of God would someone extend forgiveness with nothing else to gain except to simply let them off the hook. So when Peter asked this question of Jesus, he said, Lord, how many times will my brother sin against me and I forgive him and let it go? Up to 7 times? And Jesus responded, as only Jesus can. He said, I say to you, not 7 times, but 70 times 7. So Peter's thinking 7 times, that's a lot. And Jesus says, no, 490 times. Basically saying, you never stop forgiving. And these verses precede Jesus telling a parable about a man who received forgiveness of a debt of the equivalent of $10, equivalent of $10,000 from a king, and he turned around and he threw his fellow servant into debtor's prison for only like $10. And he said, the king found this out. He said, you wicked, lazy servant, how could you? I forgave you of a great debt, and you couldn't forgive your fellow servant of a little debt? And forgiveness is so easy to withhold. And we think we're withholding it to the other person. We're actually withholding it from ourselves. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about us. Simply put, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and hoping the other person will die. How crazy is that? But that's what it comes down to. We basically poison ourselves. Unforgiveness leads to resentment and anger and all range of emotions that are negative and harmful to ourselves, not to them. Most cases, they don't even know that you have this grudge, so to speak, against them. So forgiving someone, whether you do it in person or just you sit down and say, I'm going to forgive so-and-so for this, and you talk to someone else about it and let it go, that releases that poison that's in your body. Basically, it's acting like poison is the unforgiveness. So the question I have tonight is, do you have unforgiveness, and are you willing to let that go? And if you have something against someone else or someone against you, are you willing to go to that person and make amends? Thanks and have a great night.